am Alethea Felton, and welcome to the Power Transformation Podcast. If you're struggling in your life with self-sabotaging and negative thoughts that leave you feeling stuck and limit you from moving forward, I can help you. As a holistic health and empowerment coach, I help people identify, challenge, and conquer those thoughts in order to make simple and practical changes to improve overall wellness. Let's remove those limitations, for the time is now to create your power transformation. Hey y'all, I am so happy to have you all back with me on another episode of the Power Transformation Podcast. Thank you for joining me for episode 51. And oh my, do I have a phenomenal guest for you today. So before we even get started, I would like you to go ahead and click the link to wherever you're listening to this from. Send this episode to 3 people. Today's message is powerful, and the guest we have is absolutely extraordinary. So many people will get so much out of this. Before we get into this awesome interview with this absolutely fantastic person, I always begin our podcast with an affirmation. With affirmations, we speak those things into existence. We are bringing life into our situations, even if things aren't exactly as you want them to be quite yet. Don't worry. The more that you affirm it, the more that you believe it, the more it happens in your daily life. So let's begin. I will say this affirmation once, and then you repeat it. I am patient and compassionate with myself as I continue moving forward in life. I am so happy today, y'all, to have this guest on the Power Transformation Podcast. This is going to be a treat. My, oh my, what experiences does he have in his life that will surely encourage you and help you transform even more? And I have none other than Saul Robinson, who is a life coach and fitness trainer. Hey, Saul, welcome.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing very, very well. Thank you. Now, look, before we get started, I like to ask all of my guests just a random question, just off of the top of my head and just something in general. But Saul, for us to get to know you a bit more, what is one of your favorite movies and why?
Oh, man. Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction. Tell us why. Okay, why?
Pulp Fiction, it's action, it's comedy, it goes back and forth. There's some relatable scenes. Oddly enough, that the movie's so crazy, but I'm a big John Travolta fan, Samuel L. Jackson, Bruce Willis. So the cast it drew me in.
Yes, that's a classic one. That's very good. And you all, if one of you out there is listening and you have never seen Pulp Fiction, definitely see it. That's a great one. So I am so happy to have you here today. And I know that you are going to be just giving so many pearls of wisdom to people to help them to keep going. And I want to go more into you as a person, but let me preface this first. The reason, y'all, I have Saul up here is I met him. Saul was on the same cruise that I was on. And I saw him and his significant other on the cruise. And what was so amazing about it is we just sparked up a conversation. And I had taken this solo cruise, as I told you all prior. But what happened was I had seen them the night before at a particular event. And then the next day I saw them again. And the beauty of it was that we just started chatting, talking, and then I found out a little glimpse of this incredible story, an incredible life Saul had. And I said, oh my goodness, he has to be a guest on my podcast. And I'm telling you all that going on traveling, vacationing. You just never know who you're going to come across. But Saul, this is the first question that I want to ask you. Keep it brief, but just in general,
Mhm.
how would you describe and who is Saul Robinson?
Oh man, that's a loaded question.
Mhm.
I got to say that I feel like a very blessed individual because I've been through a lot in my life,
Mhm.
and there's a lot where I'm telling you, I call Jesus Christ JC and I call
Uh-huh.
God G. I'll talk to one of them, say G. I don't know what we're doing, man, but let's get through this. So I'll say that I'm very fortunate to be where I am in life and to have gone through the things that I've gone through. That's me in a nutshell.
That's right. So, Saul, you told me when we were on the cruise something very, very powerful. Now, you are a life coach and a fitness trainer. What caused you to go down those paths in life in terms of life coaching and fitness training? Tell us a little bit about what led you there.
I honestly feel like it's my purpose in life. Um, when I joined the military, I was always the guy that was given, or I'd latch myself onto the guy that couldn't pass PT test, or wasn't eating right, or was about to get kicked out. I hated to see somebody that chose to you know basically give their life to the military
Mhm.
and want to serve, but not have the opportunity to. So when I did it, I found so much joy in it. It was honestly, it felt selfish because I got more out of it than they did. I felt that when the person reached their goal, that was my ultimate high. I feel like I did something, I accomplished something, I gave back to somebody. That's to give is a good feeling for me.
Mhm.
It's easy to be selfish, but I love to be selfless.
Now, you mentioned the military. Let's talk a
Mhm.
bit about that. What
Mhm.
branch are you in, and what caused you to join the military? Because being a soldier is something that a lot of people don't have the grit or the guts for. So tell us a bit about that journey, a soldier's story, so to speak, is
So
what led you there?
So it's a unique thing because I'm actually writing a book, kind of like a memoir of my journey in the military. But honestly, I had a scholarship running track, a partial scholarship for Auburn. It was
Mhm.
an offer anyway, and I on a dare, I chose to join the military.
Wait a
My
minute.
friends were
Wait a
joining,
minute. On a
yeah,
dare.
on a dare,
Oh,
on a random dare. Me and my friends were sitting around. Three of them were joining. They're like, "Son, I bet you won't do it." I said, call your recruiter." He did. I joined. I got out. I finished high school in June. July I was in basic training.
oh my goodness. Now,
Yeah,
where are you from originally?
Birmingham, Alabama.
Birmingham, Alabama. Now, so you come from some good down home folks, because I'm a southerner
Oh yeah,
too. Now, this
yeah.
is my question for you. How
Okay.
did your family react with you saying that you were going to join on a dare?
My mom was in shock. I think up until the time I got on the bus, she was still looking like, what is happening?
Hmm.
So I was in ROTC only because I like the uniform, I like the march, I like the structure, but I never thought about actually being in the military. And when I got in, it was the best thing I ever did in my life.
So let's talk about that from a soldier's perspective, being in the
Uh-huh.
military and in the army. Now, this is where a lot of this transformation and empowerment in your own life started to come into play. Tell
Yes.
us a bit about a very significant, impactful moment that happened to you in your career that really started to shift the trajectory of your life in a way that really led to some deep transformation for you.
My probably my first deployment uh, to Iraq. When you're humbled by seeing other people that are just happy to be alive, just happy to
Mm.
breathe. They don't have a roof. They only have four walls. They move in the box to basically hide from the sun, but they're still happy.
Mm.
That's it's humbling. When I went to Iraq, I had the notion that when I came back, I was going to buy this car, I was going to get this house, I was going to get these clothes, and that changed. I was always a giver, but it made me want to give more, and that's I think where I found my purpose even more, and I felt like fitness was my calling, and not because I think I'm better than anybody else.
Mhm.
It's something I love to do, and I find joy in helping people reach their goals. So with that, I had several soldiers that were going through personal issues, and that's
Wow.
kind of where the life coaching came into play.
Hmm.
When you look at fitness as a whole, you have to think, what impact what's impacting their life to make them not want to go to the gym? What's impacting their life to make them not want to eat right? And if you look under the surface, there's so much more that drives a train.
Mm. Now, let's kind of pull it back a little bit because I do like how that's a great segue into the life coaching and the fitness training. But I know that you had shared with me when we did our little pre-screening chat, and
Mhm.
you said you are an open book. There are some listeners who have experienced traumatic situations, traumatic events. They may not know how to necessarily handle them, or they might have some guilt or remorse about certain
Oh man,
things.
yeah.
What is your experience, or share some of your experience about something that happened where it caused survivor's guilt, it caused certain types of traumatic stress over you? Tell us what happened and how you how you started to get to the point of overcoming it.
You in the military, a lot of guys, they feel empowered, because you have such a support system. Well, sometimes you have a heavy load. Sometimes the load is too much to bear for some people. So uh, I had three soldiers, actually two soldiers, that committed suicide because their weight of home and military life was heavy.
Mm.
One guy, he had his mom was terminal with cancer. His uncle, who helped raise him, terminal with cancer. His wife was pregnant with triplets, high risk pregnancy, possibly dying there. So the load was heavy, and the shift for him was thinking that he was going to go home. And one of his somebody in charge told him that that was canceled and he wasn't going home. So even through that, I thought I could help him. I thought I could, talk him off the ledge, so to speak. And I went out on patrol and came back, and I actually heard the gun going off
Mhm.
where he was killing himself. So yeah,
Mm.
that was heavy because I thought I had this under control. So to know that this guy was a beautiful spirit, beautiful person, giving, and to think that he took his life because the load was too heavy, it angered me that I had, in my opinion, life given to me. My everything was there for me, and this guy just wanted a chance to go back and take care of his family. So I had another guy, same thing. He had five kids. He'd been deployed 6 or 7 times,
Mm.
and his wife told him if he deployed again, she was going to leave him. Well, she sent him papers in the mail, and so I watched this guy, not knowing what he was going to do, blow his brains out.
Mm.
The load of that when I thought I had it handled. I was trying to talk to his command, make sure they got this guy back, but I didn't. So to survive, to come out of that myself, and these guys didn't. What makes me better than them? So I had to wrap my mind around the fact that I think God has a bigger purpose for me,
Mm.
and to share and help people that are going through things. So the life coaching, my joy is extending to vets that have been through so much. As most civilians can't even wrap their mind around. They can't fathom what some military guys have gone through, or probably still going through.
Mm-hmm.
So to have gone through things myself, I'm always willing to embrace the vets that are out there with PTSD. I had a girl that posted online, I'm giving up. I messaged her right away because I knew she was a vet. Nope, not on my watch. Hey, where you at? Let's go.
Wow.
Come by the gym. Let's go get something to eat. You look at a few dollars in a meal, but you never know if you're saving somebody's life. The suicide hotline lights up all the time, but just think about when it doesn't, that person's committing suicide. So there's signs, there's ways. I encourage everybody that's has a friend or knows a person, regardless military or not. If you see a sign, check on that person. Hey man, you good? Hey sis, you good? And make sure that they're not going down the road of ending their life or in a bad situation.
Now, when you experience, that's a lot, that's heavy. So when you experience that heaviness, even prior to you doing the life coaching and everything else, what did you do to help yourself even get to the point of being able to continue to function? Because here you were a leader of a team, a leader of a group. You're still having to be in combat. You're still having to just deal with all of the woes and the pressures of being away from home and comforts. So once those happened to those soldiers in terms of the suicide, how did you make it through? Of course, you hit a low moment too, of course, because you're human. But how did you come out of that?
I prayed a lot. I had to set my pride aside and get help. Man, that load was so heavy. I didn't realize what I was carrying until I got in with a counselor.
Wow.
And he said, it's okay. I cried like a baby. Right. And I started to realize what I was carrying. It impacted my life, my then marriage. It impacted my kids. And after that, I came back and I talked to my kids. I was like, hey, daddy's not okay. So if there's a moment where you feel like I'm out of control, or daddy's saying something out of pocket, we had a word. Uh, uh, I think it was two. My kids would say two, and I'd look at them and say what, and they'd say the number two, daddy, the number two. I'd take a minute, regroup, and think about what I'm saying, and I'd hug them and I'd say I'm sorry.
Wow.
Because I knew, certain things would just trigger, and I would go left real hard. And so just starting to know myself and acknowledge that I needed the help, that was the biggest thing. And that's a prideful thing. Not to say that women can't experience that as well, but for a guy, military, combat arms, you're soft if you go to the counselor. That's what I was told. But I realized, you're soft if you don't, because you're allowing yourself to go down a dark road by yourself. And I realized that I had so many people that cared about me, that wanted to see me succeed. So I leaned on that. I took advantage of that. And I encourage people that have gone through things, that are going through things, don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to ask for help. If you have a true friend, sometimes you can have a stranger help you off the street, and you never know where your help's going to come from. But the big thing is, don't be so prideful that you can't stop and take a minute and evaluate yourself and decide, hey, I need help.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yes, indeed. And I think that what you said here is going to help even with the men listeners. I've had a guest talk about men's mental health, and how it's okay. It's okay for men to seek the help, because as men, then I'll even take it, deeper. I have all listeners, but especially for those who are Black men, that's even extra that you have to deal with day by day, just trying to make it each day. Not, of course, using our race as an excuse for anything, but it's just the pressures that are even magnified and intensified. And sometimes in certain cultures, with me being Hispanic and Black, in certain cultures, it's a little stigmatized if you go to therapy, or people just think that it's for crazy people. And it has nothing to do with that. If you need the help, you need the help. And
Definitely.
so for you to have the courage and the humility to set aside all of that, to know that you needed it, but also the fact that as a father, you knew that you needed to be your best for your children, that's absolutely powerful. Now, once you transition from that, you did share with me on the cruise about a very serious health crisis and a health
Uh-huh.
challenge with
Yeah.
your own life that you had. So you come back from Iraq, life continues to move on. Saul, take a moment to share what happened to you where you were literally on the brink of being out of here. And you're
Yeah.
not, you're still here right now. What happened?
Well, I was coming back from a bike week out in Myrtle Beach. I was going to a new unit, got to the unit, my bike was with me, and I needed to get a tune up. So typically, when I left the base or left post, I'd wear all my gear. But at the time, all I had was my helmet, my gloves, my standard protective gear, minus my jacket.
Mm-hmm.
So in order for me to go get my jacket, it was 20 minutes in the opposite direction. I said, well, I'm only going, 2 exits down. I'll be fine. And that's when it happened. I was behind a lady where it's lunchtime, heavy traffic. We're both trying to get over, but nobody's letting us get over. So I'm already prepared to go down to the next exit and turn around. So the lady gets a little irritated. She locks her brakes up as we're coming down a hill. I'm on a crotch rocket, for lack of better words, and I'm hitting my back brakes, but I'm not stopping. I'm still sliding. So as I hit my front brakes, the rear tire starts to come up in the air. I'm riding on one wheel.
Wow.
So I had a decision: either run into the back of the car and potentially die, or jump off the bike. So with on the front wheel, I jumped. I pushed off the bike. Uh, the handlebars cracked my ribs, punctured my lung, bruised my liver, sternum, collarbone. My knee was split open, and I'm laying. I'm unconscious. I wake up to a guy, trying to wake me up. And as I go into the hospital, they're wheeling me in. They said your lung is filling up with blood. We got to put a tube in it. We got to operate on your knee. Your liver's damaged. So I'm hearing all this stuff. I'm kind of in and out. So they hit me with morphine. I'm coming in and out of I guess coma, sleep, or whatever. And I hear the doc tell my mom, "Hey, he's got a 15% chance to make it."
Mm.
And I tapped him on his arm, and I say, "Hey, doc, I'll see you tomorrow." And so little did I know, tomorrow was 3 or 4 days later. But in that transition, I felt like I was in another world, because I would wake up hearing people praying over me. I would wake up to, five, six people at a time, the max amount they let in the room, coming around me to see me. They're talking to me while I'm out. I'd wake up in and out. And to their credit, I honestly believe, the power of prayer does work.
Yes.
I do believe that having positive reinforcement around you, it does work. Um, yeah. So I had such a support system that was just unbelievable. So I, that again, that humbled me again to think, that could have been me out of here again. Iraq, bullets flying, and now back in the States, this incident.
How long were you in the hospital? And then after you were discharged, did you have to have rehab? And
Oh yeah.
what happened after all that?
I was in the hospital for about 3.5 weeks.
Wow.
And then I was on convalescent leave for about 85 days. And then after that,
Ooh.
I still had to rehab.
Ooh.
I had to, kind of, I won't say learn how to walk again, but learn how to walk normal again. To hear the doctor tell me, hey, son, you'll probably never walk normal again. You'll never run again. And that actually encouraged me because he gave me a goal. He set the bar. And in my mind, I was destined to prove him wrong. And again, I got all these positive people around me. Hey, son, if you want to do it, you can do it. Let's go. Taking me to the gym. Wouldn't let me give up on myself, even if I wanted to. So to have the positive people constantly cheering me on, wanting to see me do it, I had a goal of 6 months before I could possibly deploy, because I was there to deploy in support of OIF. And in 5 months, the doc said it'll be 9 to 10 months before I could walk normal. In 5 months, I was bench pressing 315 pounds. I was
Wow.
running on the treadmill. I was deadlifting. I was squatting. So the doc was like, either you're a freak of nature or there is a God. I said,
There is a God.
times two. Yeah. So,
Oh my goodness. What a miracle. That is
yeah.
such a miracle. And y'all, I'm telling you, when it comes to that, life can turn just like that. But when you believe and you just have faith and you keep going, that is absolutely astonishing. But how did that? So after you bounced back from that, did you have your gym at the time, or all of that was prior to? What led to you getting certified as a fitness trainer and then opening your gym? Because from what we've heard so far, Saul, you should have lost your mind and you
Right.
should be paralyzed, but you're
Yeah.
neither of those. So
Right.
tell us that specific journey after all of that. You could have just given up. What made you say, no, I'm going to keep doing what I got to do?
You have to take a step back sometimes and just reevaluate where you are. And it's good to be thankful when you can appreciate the fact that you have air in your lungs, you have the ability to see, you have the ability to walk. You know, you're there. Everything else is extra gravy. So I stopped, and I had moments, 85 days to wrap my mind around the fact that I'm still alive.
Yes.
I'm still breathing. So it encouraged me to keep going. It encouraged me to help, my fellow soldiers. And so outside of that, I just think we in America, we probably have some of the worst health uh, issues in the world. And it's due to stress and bad food and no exercise. We can go down the line of reasons why. So I feel like there's a need for that. And to think that this is what I love to do. And to be more specific, I've worked with some bodybuilders, and that's why I feel like I'm an artist. I have clay that I'm able to mold clay to perfection if they're willing to listen to me, and in terms of their nutrition, in terms of their health, and meditate, get massages. We look at the two big things, eating and working out, but there's so much more. Your mental health, the state of your house, your family, your support. What are your kids like? Do they like what you? So there's so much more, and that's where the life coaching comes in. To it's a very intimate thing to come into somebody's life and ask them to share that with you. But I try to make it a calming experience and a very eventful experience that they enjoy.
And what have been some of the results of that life coaching of some of your clients? What's been some of the feedback, or can you think of a memorable experience you had in life coaching somebody where they started off one way, but then in working with you, they transformed in a way?
I had one guy who was basically suicidal, prior military, and I've worked with that in the military. I had probably 5 or 6 suicide cases at one time, and I never not lost any of those people outside of my deployment. And so part of that whole survivor's remorse thing, a lot of times I had guilt. I had guilt that I allowed those people to die. So again, wrapping my mind around the fact that I could not have total control of those situations. I embraced where I was, and I looked forward. I looked for the signs. I looked for other things that these people are going through, and helping them balance their life. So the gym, I would say I probably had about three people that I'm the most proud of because, they let me into their life. We were able to get them help, counseling outside of me, and actually one of the people actually started having me go to their counseling sessions with them. So I'm willing. I just want to see the person balance their life and not give up. So
Wow. To have somebody to say, I want you to come to counseling with me, that means that you have established such a level of trust with them, because that is not something that somebody does lightly. And as a life coach myself, you're right, is that the work we do in really to get to know people on such a different level. And I tell people, no, we aren't therapists in the traditional sense or anything like that, but we help people get to and to achieve specific goals in life coaching, and to get them to really examine where they are and how they want to move forward in life. And so in getting them to examine themselves, so Saul, with all of these experiences you've had and just what you shared so far with us today, what have you learned the most about yourself since all of this has happened?
I've learned that I have so much more to give.
Mm,
Um, I think we as a people get wrapped up in what's going to benefit me, uh, and a lot of times I find myself wanting to be the example, and not to make it a black and white string, but I
mhm.
think sometimes that me being 6'2", 260 pounds, I get viewed as, this villainous looking guy. So I
Mm,
try to always have a smile on my face so that if you see me, hopefully you receive me as a friendly person, as a person that's willing to help.
yeah.
Uh, I think to be the example is the ultimate goal. Um, of course, you want to have a successful life. You want to leave behind a legacy. You want to do so many things. But I think while you're here, to give of yourself, that's I've learned that's what makes me the happiest, and that's where the gym comes in, and me being able to give in terms of fitness. My gym is like my sanctuary.
Mm,
It actually calms me. It's what I would do to kind of soothe my PTSD. If I had bad moments, dark days, uh, get in the gym by myself and just zone out, throw my headphones on, and that was my happy place. But the biggest piece is I've learned that I'm definitely a giver, uh, as a people, and I don't like to just separate, black, white, and
mhm,
that's one of the biggest things about the military. We're all green.
mhm,
You're in a foreign country. All you cared about was that person next to you was an American, and
mhm.
you were happy to embrace another person, not because he looked like you, but because you
Yeah.
felt like he shared your core values.
And I really appreciate that frame of mind as well, because and this could be a whole episode by itself, but race is a social construct. We acknowledge our culture and our ethnicity and our heritage, but
Right.
at the end of the day, we're all having a human experience.
We definitely are.
Yeah, and it even goes in terms of, I've had people in the past even ask me if I've dated outside of my race, and the answer is I absolutely have, because at the end of the day, people are people,
There
and
you go.
the person I'm seeing now is a Black man, but we had that whole talk about it's a human experience. So I see it like you do. Some people don't. And especially in this country, there's so much division
Yeah.
about race. And then I come from a multi-ethnic families, specifically on my mom's side. But with that being said, I bring that part up because everybody goes through something.
Right.
And at the end of the day, for example, when you experienced soldiers taking their lives, it don't matter what race they were. It's the fact of the aftermath and the effects of what happens when that happens. Or even you on your bike and you having that accident, when you're in the hospital, ain't nobody gonna care about what color the doctor is trying to treat
Yeah.
you.
Or
You're
that
trying
blood
to
that's
get your
going in
life
my
saved.
veins. That
Exactly.
blood
Or the
came from a
blood,
white person,
you know,
black person, Hispanic. I don't care. Let me
it
get
doesn't,
it.
you're right. So you're right. You are absolutely correct with that, Saul, is that it doesn't matter. And that's a part of this platform and this podcast too, is really showing how we're all so interconnected, intraconnected with this human experience. Now, I want us to talk a little bit as we come to a close. Let's talk more about this gym because I have listeners from a lot of different places, but also you're going to be sharing this. Tell us about your gym. What is the name of it? What's it like? Take us on a mental tour, so to speak, of your gym. But also, you told me it's more than just a place where people work out and exercise. So tell us the bigger picture about your gym and your fitness training.
What I like about the members that we tend to get, everybody tends to embrace everybody. You hit the door. I'll have members that if they see somebody trying to get in the gym, they'll say, "Hey, you're not a member? Okay, let me bring you in and give you a tour." They'll
Mm,
call me, "Hey, Saul, we got a guy at the door. I'm gonna give him a tour." I'll zoom in on the cameras. Okay, hey, I appreciate it. And typically, I'll give them, a personal training session, some free gear, whatever. But the thing about the gym, most of the people feel like it's their gym.
what is it
They
called?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm,
Uh-huh.
I'm getting off in the rabbit
Mhm,
hole here.
mhm.
The
That's
name of the gym is Merck Fitness Asylum, and Merck stands for Make Every Rep Count. And our
fine.
slogan is for those crazy enough to make every rep count. So we don't boast. There's guys that can put up some weight, and I encourage them to do it. But the big picture is to do it safely, to do it proper
Mm,
form, technique. If I see somebody doing something unsafe, I don't bark or tell them, "Hey, you're
mhm,
doing it wrong." I'll say, "Hey, do you mind if I share something with you?" And most of them, they embrace the fact that I'm willing to share this knowledge with them. That I like to show them what's going to benefit them the most, and give them longevity and keep the injuries down. So most people after some of the classes, when you come in the door, let me walk you through the door. You come in the door, we have our cardio section. Not a big cardio section because I'm a big fan of weightlifting machines and body weight exercises. So we have about maybe 12 pieces of cardio equipment, ranging from treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, and bikes. And then we go to our machines. We have mostly life fitness equipment, and
mhm.
we have Pre-Core, we have Body Master. Our dumbbells go from 5 pounds to 115 pounds. We have squat racks, we have bumper plates for deadlifting. So
Yeah.
the gym just gets going. And the biggest thing is when if somebody sees somebody else lifting and they're struggling with one rep, you have 2 or 3 people encourage them. All right, come on,
Oh,
man,
I
you
love
got it,
it.
you got it, and
Yes.
and they're cheering them on even after the fact. Hey, man, good lift, good push. Hey, you may want to focus on your breathing. Nobody gets upset that the guy said your breathing was off. Oh yeah, you're right. So I like the fact that everybody seems to be helpful, supportive, and encouraging. The other side of the gym is our group fitness side. We have a hardwood floor where we have Zumba classes, yoga classes. We also have a side that has a softer mat where we have heavy bags, boxing bags, bowling ball bags, and that's for our kickboxing classes. Uh,
Ooh.
so
Go
it's
ahead. You got
it,
kickboxing too?
we got
Oh, I
kickboxing.
wish I was in Alabama
I
right
tell
now.
you what, if
Oh,
you ever are, please let me know.
I
So
will.
pick us
I'm
up
gonna have to come and visit. Yeah.
please do. We'll get you set up.
I love that sound of your gym. All right, so keep on going.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I just got excited because I
no,
told
it's
you
cool. It's
I
cool.
used to prior to no, actually even during the pandemic, I told you briefly on the cruise. I used to lift. I was about to train for a competition, and then
Uh-huh.
the pandemic hit in 2020. So I just
Yeah.
get excited hearing this. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
This is what we
Yeah.
do. So
So
you
you
know,
got the
we train.
kickboxing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have kickboxing, we have Zumba, we have hit classes, and
Wow.
we have a ton of variety for people, and we encourage our members, if there's a class they want to see, I'll find an instructor. I just
Mm-hmm.
need some interested people to want to do the class.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to accommodate. And what's great about it, I sometimes have some of the members that are certified. Hey, Saul, I want a demo class. Okay. Hey, I'll throw it out on the email. See what kind of leads we get. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's all embracing. It's all encompassing. Uh, it's a great space. And from time to time, I might find a vet that's down on their luck, and hey, I'm walking over. Hey, what's going on, man? Let's talk about it. It doesn't have to be a vet. I have a beautiful spirit. She's also doing podcasting. Her name is Sierra, and I was on
Oh,
her show here not too long ago. But you know, she shared on her show that me talking to her during a dark point, and I didn't realize she was in a dark point. I
wow.
just saw that something was on her mind. I wanted to talk to her about it. So it just goes to the point of you never know what a person's going through, and you never know what a kind word will do. So yeah,
And also the type of gym that you describe when I lived in Washington, D.C., because I told you I moved recently.
hmm
I still have to go back and forth occasionally to handle
right,
things. But the gym you describe sounds
hmm
very much like the one where I trained in. And what I think people need to understand, especially about the concept of lifting body weights, things of that nature. And you're right, body weight exercises are powerful. You'd be
they are.
surprised what the human body can do. It's such a complex, masterful, perfect machine in so many ways. But I share that because you said something very key is that there are times when 2 or 3 people can be cheering a person on.
Yeah,
That is how a lot of these smaller and it's nothing against chain gyms. So what I'm about to say, y'all, don't take it the wrong way. There's
yeah,
nothing wrong with chain gyms,
right,
but these smaller gyms, especially a lot of them where people who are lifters or bodybuilders go to, I'm telling you, it is such a totally different vibe and a totally different feeling. You really feel comfortable. And sometimes people would think, well, if I'm out of shape or if I'm this, I can't go to a gym like that. Matter of fact, I think you get way less judgment in those types of smaller gyms than you do
right,
in a huge chain one. So if
true,
there's anybody listening out there who wants to get healthy, maybe even curious about lifting or personal training or group training and don't know how. Yes, if you're in Alabama, in Birmingham, or is it in a different city?
Huntsville, Alabama.
Huntsville. If you are
Yeah,
in Huntsville and the surrounding area, and of course, I'm going to have a link to everything Saul in the show notes, but definitely check out his gym, join it. But also, if you're listening from anywhere and you want to start to get into fitness and you don't know how, I would encourage you to really find one of those smaller type of gyms that do specialize a lot in lifting and bodybuilding. You would be surprised how much one-on-one support you get, and the other members there
yeah,
do cheer you on. I
they
know
do.
it firsthand.
Yeah,
They're not caring if you've never worked out, if you're out of shape. It's just a feeling you get. And sometimes people would think the opposite. You might be intimidated by people who are more sculpted or healthier, but it's the opposite because we're all
Right.
in there for a common goal. And it's
True.
just more than just working out. It does give that family feel. That is absolutely amazing, Saul, how God has just taken your life in such a way where you are pouring back, giving to vets, non-vets. And for the closing question, I would ask you this, Saul.
Mm-hmm.
Suppose there's somebody listening right now who's just having a hard time of things. It could be anything, but just at a place in a space where it's hard doing everyday tasks. It might be because of age. It could be because of circumstance. Regardless of the age, give an encouraging word, or what would you say to a person right now who just is feeling hopeless, is feeling down and out, and just they aren't sure quite how to make it? What would you say to them?
Take it day by day. Don't, I would say, embrace who you are at the moment. Love yourself for who you are. No matter how bad you feel or how out of shape you think you are, start from ground zero. There's nowhere to, you can't go down.
Mm,
The only place you can go from that point is up. And if you don't know how to, ask, reach out. You'll get the support. I encourage anybody from anywhere. I have some of my friends that are in downrange, Iraq, Afghanistan. I get calls sometimes 2, 3 in the morning, and I see it. I'll answer it because I don't know what somebody else is going through. Had a lady random, and it was a random call. She was coming back from Afghanistan. She's like, hey, she said, I thought I would be leaving a message, but you answered the phone. I got your number from a guy that I was stationed with years ago. He said to call you and that you would help me. I said, okay. And we spent an hour on the phone figuring out what she was going to do and how to get her where she wanted to be.
wow.
So I just, I could get my sleep back, but I can't get a human life back. So
Mm,
I'm always going to take the time to help. But for a person that's in a low place, reach out, get the type of help you think you need, put your pride aside, and allow somebody else to help you.
yes. Yes. And I would even say, and I'll put this in the show notes too, but what I want to give is for people who may be feeling very, very down and out, and getting to the point of even wanting to take your life, that please, help is available through the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. It's a simple number in the United States, 988. You can text 988. You can call 988. You can chat with somebody from 988. And also, there is the official website for it as well. And I'll have that in the show notes. If you're not to a point even about, suicide or anything like that, you can still call 988 and they have resources available. So if you're having a mental health crisis or anything of that nature, listen to my voice and please get the support that you need. And Saul, prior to us closing, how can people connect with you, say if they're on social media or email? I don't want you, of course, sharing your phone number here, but if you could give your gym's website or any information you want to give, and I'll also put them in the show notes. But
Mhm.
how can people connect with you outside of the show?
I would say that the quickest way is to probably DM me on Instagram at
Okay.
Merck Fitness Asylum or on Facebook, Merck Fitness Asylum. I'm always checking it.
Could you spell it out completely, please?
Okay, sure.
Mhm.
Merck, again, it's MERC, uh, Asylum, ASYLUM, Merck Fitness, I'm sorry, Merck
That's okay.
Fitness Asylum, Fitness, FITTNES Asylum, and
Mhm.
just DM me. Tell
Okay.
me what your needs are. If it's fitness related, if it's mental health related, if it's nutritional related, if I can't help you directly,
Mhm.
I will definitely point you in the right direction, or we'll find a resource for you.
Thank you so much for that. So again, that's going to be for um, Instagram. Oh, I just found it, so I'm going to follow it. So on Instagram, it's at and then MERC_FITNESS_ASYLUM. And of course, I will have that posted on the show notes as well. And that would be a great place for him to contact. What if a person does not have Instagram? Do you have a professional email address, or if they're on Facebook, do you have a page for Merck Fitness Asylum on Facebook as well?
It is. It's the same thing. Merck Fitness Asylum on
Perfect.
Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Saul, this has been an honor and a privilege. I am so glad that you have taken time out of your busy schedule, because you are a traveling man like me and you're this
Yeah.
place and that place.
Right.
And I thank you for your time. I thank you for what you've had to share. I definitely thank you for your service to our country. And just thank you for being such an authentic human being. What you see is what you get. Thank you for your kindness, even toward me when we met back in early September on the cruise, and just being an authentic, decent human being. And I just continue to encourage you. I will continue to pray for all your success, and we'll definitely keep in touch for future collaborations and just to keep building our network. So I thank you sincerely.
Thank you for having me. I definitely value good people, and right away I could tell you're a beautiful person.
Thank you.
You can get good energy off good people. So I was hoping I wasn't invading your space by just coming up and
Oh,
talking to you where I was, but that's just who
yeah.
I am. I value good people and I want to connect with good people. So thank you for this opportunity.
Of course, anytime. Y'all, didn't I tell you that this was going to be an absolutely amazing episode? And that it was. And I am so grateful to Saul from the very bottom of my heart for his transparency and candor in sharing his message with us today. It is my hope that you will listen to this more than once, and that you will share this message with as many people as you know, to know that you too can live in freedom, and that you can turn any situation that is tragic or trying or challenging, you can turn it around for the greater good. Let's go ahead and close out with our affirmation. I'll say it once and you repeat it, and be sure to join me every Wednesday for another episode of the Power Transformation Podcast. I'll say the affirmation once and then you repeat it. I am patient and compassionate with myself as I continue moving forward in life. If you enjoyed today's show, then you don't want to miss an episode. So follow the Power Transformation Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you usually listen, and remember to rate and review. I also invite you to connect with me on social media at Alethea Felton. That's at ALETHEAFELTON. Until next time, remember to be good to yourself and to others.